Hi, Tim Blanchard here with Divorce661.com. Also on DivorceMasterRadio.com, you can catch our live podcast, or rather not live, but our recorded on-demand podcast. Today we're talking about, in California divorce cases, does it matter whose fault it is when you get divorced? Knowing that California is a no-fault state. So I just want to break that down a little bit and then tell you about some of the things that we've seen with some of our clients. And you can decide if what's fair or if you agree with how the law works. So in California, it is a no-fault state. The honest truth is the courts do not care why you're getting a divorce. They don't ask. No one will ask you. No one will care. The only one that cares is you and perhaps your family and your spouse. No one cares why you're getting divorced, meaning the reasons behind it. Doesn't matter if it's your fault or your spouse's fault or a combination. It doesn't matter. When you file for divorce in California, there's a single box that you mark, and the box you're going to mark is irreconcilable differences. That's all the court asks you to provide as far as information regarding why you want to get a divorce. Now, some will think that the laws are not fair when it comes to dividing property if someone is at fault. And I'm not saying that it isn't always one person's fault. Usually you could attribute the divorce to probably one of you, if not both, but probably one of you can point the finger at each other as far as the reasons for divorce, and therefore there could be some upset when someone asked for a divorce when perhaps you thought everything was fine up to that point. And I want to give you an example as it pertains to dividing up your property. So I had clients who came in, and we work with amicable cases for the most part, and we were dealing with both couples sitting down at my desk here, and we were kind of hashing out the property and how things were going to be divided up. And in this particular case, the wife was the one that asked for the divorce. And honestly, she said, there's no real reason I'm filing for divorce other than I just want a divorce and move on with my life and start a new chapter. Probably she had fallen out of love, I would imagine. Maybe she found someone else who she wanted to live her life with or what have you. And this was a long-term marriage. So the couple, as far as their property is concerned, they had built up considerable, decent amount of wealth. They had a home that was paid off. They had several assets, 401ks and everything. They were in good shape. Had they continued on with their marriage, they would have been in great shape for retirement. So what happened in going through the divorce is they had to divide their property. And this can become a nightmare as far as how you were set up financially, dividing everything 50-50, which is what they ended up doing. He had to take out a mortgage on the house to cash her out on the property. They had to split all of their 401ks down the middle. And that could be devastating. And he was devastated that he said, look, Tim, we've built up this family, we are in good shape for retirement, and he asked, do I really have to give half? She's the one causing the divorce. She's the one that's asking for the divorce. Why do I have to split all my assets with her? And unfortunately, that's just the law. And it is sad. I mean, they'd been married, I think, 25 years, maybe getting ready or at least talking about retirement. They're in great shape financially. And at the end of the day, they went through the case together, and he said, well, there's nothing really I can do about it, and which is true. And so they decided not to fight it out and just split their assets. And I just wanted to comment on this because it's not, it puts them in a bad or worse financial, well, they were in good financial shape. So I would say put them in lesser good financial shape, if I could put it in those words, because where they were financially with their assets and paid off home was in a great position, and now with the divorce, they're going to have half of what they had together, and now there's a mortgage involved because they had to cash out of the house and all that. So unfortunately, the point of this story was when you're going through a divorce, it doesn't matter whose fault it is. It doesn't mean if one spouse is responsible, if you can point the finger at being the reason for the divorce. They don't get any, it doesn't mean you get to keep the property or anything like that. It doesn't matter what the reason or who's the cause of the divorce. And this also goes for spousal support. Let's throw another scenario at you. Let's say that one spouse is working the entire relationship and the spouse, let's just say in this case the wife, not to be sexist or anything, but just so we can determine who the parties are here. So the man worked has worked for 20, 30 years and continues to work. The wife, stay-at-home mom, took care of the kids and so forth. and now they're divorcing, well, guess what? There's going to be spouse support that needs to be paid in most cases. And even if it is the wife's fault for the divorce, maybe she just decided to move on like in the previous scenario, then guess what? She's going to get spouse support. And it's going to, there's two different thought processes. From the wife, she feels that, well, I was the one that allowed you to work and helped you through your career, and that's why you have the job and career that you have. The other perspective is the man's, where he says, and I say this because I talk to people every day about their divorce, so that's why I'm sharing these stories with you. The man says, well, look, I worked my entire career, and she just sat home, and took care of the kids, and I was the one that made all the income, and now after providing for my wife all these years, 20, 30 years, I still have to pay her money. And so you can see it's just an interesting, different perspective on how what goes through the minds of each of the spouses when it comes to property and spouse support when going through a divorce in California. My name is Tim Blankenship with Divorce661.com. Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. We do specialize in California divorce. You can also listen to us on our on-demand radio show on DivorceMasterRadio.com. Take you right to our newest episodes of our podcast. We do have a daily 5-day-a-week podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you soon.